Have you ever wondered if you've lived before or will live again? Are you curious about what happens to your soul after you die? Or maybe you've met someone you're sure you've known before. Or maybe you're just wondering if you have talents, skills, and experiences from a prior life that could help you now. Hi, I'm Brownell Landrum, author of the upcoming We Meet Again trilogy, and I'd like to welcome you to the Life is a Trip podcast. The following story, entitled Ching, Ming, was written and recorded by Carole Louie. Carole was inspired to write the story about her Chinese ancestors. Carole began her spiritual journey when her father's spirit communicated with her after his death. Those conversations and past life memories helped Carole make sense of her traumatic childhood and were life-changing. We hope you enjoy the story.
Ching Ming by Carole Louie, Lei Baoling. April 1990, Colma, aka the City of the Dead, south of San Francisco. Sunlight broke through the fog, sending rays of light onto the copper lid of the coffin. Jimmy Lei stood there as if frozen. He watched as the family left the cemetery, but still he could not move. "What a waste," he said as he looked at the elaborately carved granite double headstone and then at the well-manicured grounds. "Well, will you look at that? What are the odds?" Ming Li tipped the pointed end of his fedora to the tombstones on each side of Mr. Lei's gravesite. He adjusted the handkerchief in his breast pocket so that his initials were prominent. "I don't believe it," W.G. Fong replied. "Who are you and what—" Jimmy stopped before he could finish. The man on his right died on April 5th, as did the man on his left. Wait just a minute. I died on April 5th. Ching Ming, the day I should honor my ancestors. The last time I saw my parents was in 1931. I was a new father and widower in less than 2 weeks, but I had to leave my newborn son to return to America." He looked around and saw the remnants of the Qingming rituals, evidence that others did indeed honor their ancestors. "What are the odds that 3 people buried next to each other would die on the same day? Well, I'll tell you. You have a better chance of winning the lottery," Ming, who loved to gamble, said. Mr. Fong recognized the family's floral arrangement, the wreath with red ribbons inscribed with details about the deceased. His family, known for its beautiful calligraphy as well as its floral work, merged the Western tradition of placing flowers at the funeral with the Chinese tradition of an announcement scroll. He must be Buddhist. See there? The words on the banner ask permission to enter into heaven, and I heard a woman mumbling a Buddhist prayer as her fingers counted the beads on her mala. "What are you talking about?" Jimmy said. Ming said to W.G., "He still doesn't quite get it, does he?" "Don't be so hard on him. You were the same, Ming." "Don't remind me. It's as if it were yesterday instead of 50 years ago." "At least you were used to this country. I wanted to go back home to die, or at least to be buried. I had no one here. In China, I had a family who would honor me. I never dreamt that Wang my brother's second son, would come to the States and make good with the money I left him. I was his second son also. I knew he would be neglected in favor of the number 1 son. I knew Wang had talent, but now I see that he also had ambition. He turned my little florist shop into a chain of fancy shops. When he dug my body up from the old Chinese cemetery and moved it here, I felt like a king. I guess it paid off to leave him my small fortune." "Old uncle, you're too old-fashioned," Ming said. He patted the shoulder of W.G.'s mandarin jacket, causing W.G.'s wispy white hair to fly up like a spider's web disturbed by an intruder. Yes, but it is still an honorable thing to pay respects to your ancestors, whether you are Buddhist like him, a rice bowl Christian like me, or an atheist like you. Shao Shun, brother, Shao Shun. Shao Shun. Filial piety. You're talking to an orphan, WG. But I live my life right. I did not need a parent or customs or a church to tell me right from wrong. How can you be so sure you were abandoned? China was in chaos between the Japanese invasion and the fighting between Chiang Kai-shek's nationalists and Mao's communists. Can't you find it in your heart to forgive them, Ming? So you did learn a thing or two from the Christian priests. Yes, but then why am I still here? It's now 70 years. Why didn't I go to the pearly gates? WG, I think it's something more than a coincidence, this April 5th thing. Hey, Jimmy, what's your story? Why are you here and not in the Buddhist heaven? Ming said, pulling at his eyebrow hair that persisted on sticking out. Jimmy looked forlorn. He tugged at the well-worn buttonhole in his favorite cardigan. I made the preparations, roasted pig, whole fish, chicken, the paper money, and petitions to the guards of heaven to burn in the altar, the family blankets and a band to ward off evil spirits. I did it all. You tell me, why am I still here? He knew that these last-minute compliances to rituals could not make up for years of neglect. He knew that he had not sent money back to China, squandering it instead on gambling, drinking, and women. He shut out those words, Shao Shin, because he knew he had not paid the proper respects to his ancestors. He knew that the ticket into heaven was not words on a piece of paper, nor dutiful submission to a long list of rituals. He knew that he would have to pay dearly for his deeds in his next life. I was wrong, he admitted to his new neighbors, but I have another chance to get it right. His broad nostrils flared, making them look even broader and his eyes even smaller. He tugged at the buttonhole like a child caressing his blankie. What are you talking about? Ming asked. We are all still here because we are stuck until we realize our karma. WG would call it sins. I thought I got away with my deeds. I have to accept whatever I did wrong and make it right. I now know that I have to make it right. You think it's too late, but I do not think I'd be here talking with you now if it were too late. If there's a way to leave this place, I want to hear about it. Maybe it's time for me to look at my life. I thought I did the right things, but now I'm not so sure. It was the ultimate gamble, Ming confessed. WG held down his head as he tried to hide the tears that ran down his sunken cheeks. I went to the mission so I could eat. We were so poor. I'd do almost anything to get some food for my family. I ate the rice in the rice bowl, and I hid pieces of vegetables and meat in my clothes to take home to my family. I worked in the kitchen just so I could steal the scraps of food left on plates. I listened and pretended to pray. I tried to learn the English language. Of course, they taught it to us by reading the Bible. I wanted to learn the language so I could be a gold mountain man. After I came to America to find my gold, I discovered the truth. Gold was not everywhere as the traders told us. I worked hard and sent money home. I guess I learned enough about sinning to feel bad because I could just not believe in their Jesus. I was not a good Christian man, but I did love my family. Something in them changed as they shared their stories. They developed an inexplicable bond with one another. April 5, 1991, Colma, California. Look, our families are coming, WG said. My nephew is an old man now, but he looks young. He has a good family and a good heart. As many years as we've been here, our families never came at the same time, Ming said to WG. Jimmy Lay's family passed the first tombstone. Jenny said, "Hey guys, he died the same day as Goompa." Lily set the basket on the ground and then sorted out the incense, papers, and Jimmy's favorite foods, while the neighbors swept the grave sites and added fresh flowers. "Hey, this guy over here, Mr. Wei Gai Fong, died on April 5th also, but in 1920, and Mr. Li over there died in 1940. I bet they could have some great stories to tell us if we could talk with them. This is weird. I have a feeling this is not a coincidence." Jimmy said to his new friends, "Let them figure it out, either in this lifetime or the next. If we can, they will also. Are you ready to go now?" "Where are we going?" WG and Ming said in unison. "I'm not sure, but I think we need to cross that arched bridge. It wasn't there before, but I feel we need to go over it. Remember, the Buddha said the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step." As if on cue, they took that step together. Shaoshun, filial piety, to honor your ancestors.
Carole and the Life as a Trip group hope you enjoyed her story. Please check out her books, Conversations with a Hungry Ghost, Memoir of a Reluctant Medium, and Unstuck in Time, Memoir of a Time Traveler. Her experiences sparked her passion for reincarnation research and regression therapy. She trained with Brian Weiss, MD, Carole Bowman, the HCH Institute, and the Institute of Quantum Consciousness, and founded the Reincarnation Symposium and the Center of Reincarnation and Evolution. Carole's latest book is The Cosmology of Reincarnation and Rebirth, a brief history of reincarnation and the evolution of past life regression therapy. For more information, go to carolelouie.net, and that's CaroleLouie.net. Thanks for listening. Hi, this is Brownell. For more of these transcendental tales, please join the Life as a Trip group on Facebook and check out my amusing and enlightening story entitled The End, which you can find on my website, brownelllandrum.com. That's BROWNELLLANDRUM.com. And please look for my upcoming novel trilogy entitled We Meet Again. It's a story about a famous couple reincarnated today to help solve a centuries-old mystery that will change the world.